I think most of us out there are pretty familiar with social media and how to use it. And so many of us are really familiar with this idea of sharing. Twitter has a sharing thing, Instagram has a sharing thing, Facebook has a sharing thing. And when we see something that interests us, we share it. We see a funny meme, we'll share it. We'll see an interesting photo, we'll share it. We'll see an inspirational quote, and we'll share it. And this got me thinking a little bit about the gospel and sharing. Because in a nutshell, if you think about it, Jesus' great commission to us as Christians is essentially about sharing. Go therefore and preach and share. Baptize, teach, show, share. Basically, he's saying to the disciples of the day, now that you know, now that you've seen, now that you believe, go and share. The funny thing about this sharing as well, and it's probably not that funny, but the whole idea of God sharing himself is something that is right at the beginning of the Bible. There's no one in human history that has come to the conclusion that there is God without God revealing himself to them. That's how it all works. When God created the universe, he revealed himself and showed himself to his creation. That includes humankind. In the book of Romans, in chapter 1, between verses 18 and 23, we see that Paul is actually saying that we have no excuse for not acknowledging God, because we see it all in the environment around us. Creation actually speaks to us, telling us that God exists. Not only that, we've got Psalm 19, which says the heavens declare the glory of God. In the first 4 verses there, it talks about how nature and creation is actually speaking to us. It speaks without words, but then we can still understand that God is showing and sharing himself with us. The famous or infamous atheist Bertrand Russell was asked the question of if he was going to see God face to face when he died, what would he say? And his response was quite interesting. He said he would say to God, "Sir, why didn't you show me more evidence?" And this got me thinking, what kind of evidence is he looking for? Because I stand around me now, we're in the Royal National Park as we're filming this, and everywhere I look, I see evidence of creation and a creative God. Just like I said, the heavens declare the glory of God. Any of you that has stood out and looked up at the night sky on a clear night, particularly out in the country, and you see stars which are billions of kilometers away, light years away from where we are. And we're only seeing stars on our side of the galaxy. And that is one galaxy amongst a multitude of galaxies in this universe. And you can't tell me that that just came about from nothing. No, we have a creator God, and that creator God shares himself with his creation. So you've got nature as an evidence. We've got the natural world as evidence, creation as an evidence. But I think there's actually a better evidence than just creation. You think creation's a good evidence, but there's something even better. And that's the person of Jesus Christ. So Jesus is irrefutably a historical character. We know that. Irrefutably a fact that Jesus walked this earth. It's an irrefutable fact that Jesus claimed to be God. It's an irrefutable fact that Jesus died on the cross. And the weight of evidence that we see within the New Testament of Jesus' resurrection is irrefutable. 500 people seeing him over the course of 40 days. 40 days. He ate with them. He drank with them. He spoke with them. He hung out with them. He had breakfast on a beach with people, and they documented this evidence. So we can say it's an irrefutable fact that Christ not only died on the cross, but he rose again. And this is not a feeble Christ. This is a full, strong, resurrected Christ. A Christ that was strong and real enough to have a fish breakfast on a beach with his friends. It's an irrefutable fact that Jesus rose from the dead. Another great evidence that Jesus did really rise from the dead is what happened between a Friday and a Sunday, Good Friday, when Jesus was crucified. His disciples scattered. They started to deny that they even knew him. They were so disappointed. They were despondent. They didn't know what to do. But then by Sunday, something changed. These same disciples that were so disappointed at seeing their Lord and Savior die, the Messiah, the person that they thought was going to bring them salvation, he died on that cross and they saw it happen. They saw that he really did die. That was Friday. Come Sunday, something changed. This feeble, disappointed, despondent, disillusioned group of disciples all of a sudden were filled with faith, with strength, with tenacity to take this message of Jesus and share it with others. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, within 3 days that change happened. And how? Because of the resurrection power of Jesus. That is evidence. Another really important thing that we see within the gospel when it comes to our own evidence and our own interaction, our understanding of who Jesus is, this wonderful account that we see both in Matthew 16 and Mark 8. Jesus is with his disciples, and to paint the picture a little bit for you, they're walking around and Jesus is hearing what they're saying. And Jesus asks them this question, says, "So who are people saying I am?" And the disciples said, "Well, some are saying that you're John the Baptist," which is quite a funny thing because John the Baptist is the cousin of Jesus and they're alive at the same time. So what a funny thing to say, but yeah, they were saying that. Maybe you're John the Baptist. Maybe you're Elijah. Maybe you're Jeremiah, one of the other prophets. So that's what other people were saying. And then Jesus turned the tables, turned it back on them, and then said, "Who do you say I am?" And in that moment, Peter, and it had to be Peter, of course it had to be Peter, out of the 12 that were there, it had to be Peter to say this because he's the one who was first out of the blocks. He says, "You're the Christ, the Son of the living God." But then what Jesus says to him after that is really interesting because Jesus says to him, "Blessed are you, Peter. But it wasn't flesh and blood that revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven." So why does that give us confidence? How can that give us confidence when it comes to sharing Jesus? Because the fact that you know who Jesus is something that has been revealed to you by the Father. It's not a minister, a priest, a prophet, a pastor, a friend that has revealed that truth. It is God who's actually revealed that truth to you, and that is why you believe. So the question that we have to ask ourselves when it comes to evidence, yeah, you might know all of the history behind the Bible, that's okay. You might know all the intricacies of physics and chemistry and biology, that's okay. Because you have something else. You have the revelation of who Jesus is, and that's been given to you by God. But does that mean that it's not our responsibility to share? No. Because it tells us in Hebrews chapter 10 that we need to share. It actually says, "Blessed are the ones who take this message," and this is a free running translation you got here, but blessed are the feet who carry good news. That means you, that means me. Once we come into this revelation of who Jesus is, and we can answer this question, but who is Jesus to me? We take this and then we share it. We share things like funny memes, inspirational quotes, sometimes the nice eggs Benedict I had for breakfast. But when it comes to sharing Jesus, there can be a little bit of mediocrity. C.S. Lewis has this famous quote where he says, "Christianity, if false, is of no importance, but if true, is of infinite importance. What it cannot be is moderately important." But this is where a lot of us Christians find ourselves living, in the world of moderately important. And this is something that needs to shift and change. We need to get into our heads and into our hearts that this thing that has been revealed to us is something that we need to share. And when we come to the realization that it's actually God who reveals it to us, He shares the revelation of Jesus with us. It takes the pressure off us for being the Savior, because we are not the Savior. I can't save anyone. You can't save anyone. I can't even save myself. I need Jesus. And because God has revealed Jesus to me, and that can be through nature, that can be through the heavens declaring His glory, or that could be through a friend who is saying, hey, do you know who Jesus is? That can be you sharing with a friend, hey, have you heard about Jesus? Let me tell you about what He has done in my life. And I can tell you, no one can refute your testimony. Because we are saved by the blood of the Lamb, and that's Jesus, and by the word of our testimony. And that is what we need to share. You don't need to know science. You don't need to know history. You don't need to know verses in the Bible. But you do need to know who Jesus is. And when we come to that, something amazing happens. We get the confidence and the boldness to share Jesus with others and allow Him to do the rest. Jesus is the Savior. He is the Lord. He is God. Everything around us is created for Him and through Him, the Bible tells us. So we can have complete confidence that when we share Him, we are sharing truth. Be brave. Be bold. And share Jesus and allow Him to do the rest.